Welcome, welcome. How are you? Oops, nobody's here. Okay. So I'm just going to jump into it then. I've got a lot of documents and I'm really just going to read them. I haven't organized much as usual. But these are things I want to read, so why not read them together? All right, here we go. Let me share this piece of trash. I've started making annotations on this, but I'm not done. I only got to like page 2. So when I'm done, I'll put it out as a new version of the 36-page report. Hey, Mind Truth, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, Badger. So yeah, I just kind of changed it a little bit. So this is the Immaculate Deception, which was a December 15th, 2020 report, which was referenced in the famous 12/19 tweet from Trump, 12/19/2020. Be there on January 6th will be wild. He referenced Peter Navarro's 36-page report in that, and this is that. And I don't know if I've read it or if it's been just like a really long time since I've read it. So that's why I thought, oh, I want to read it. And since he was sentenced to 4 months yesterday, one for each of his toes, what better time than to read what Smeagol wrote? So this is actually Pence, and he's saying, I was stupid, and this guy's stupid. So there's that. The Immaculate Deception, or How to Succeed in Demagoguery Without Really Trying. I don't think he put that. I might have added that. He did say 6 key dimensions of erection. Well, it might as well be, shouldn't it? Irregularities, because this is all a big masturbation. The Navarro report, whatever. Hopefully this will put him behind bars for a long time versus 4 months for defying a fucking subpoena. Which it'll be whatever, 2026 until he serves it. Anyway, this report assesses the fairness and integrity of the 2020 presidential election by examining 6 dimensions of alleged election irregularities across 6 battleground states. Evidence used to conduct this assessment includes more than 50 lawsuits and judicial rulings, thousands of affidavits and declarations, testimony in a variety of state venues, published analyses by think tanks and legal centers. Is that what we're calling John Eastman these days? Videos and photos, public comments, and extensive press coverage. Yeah, good album cover. It's so true. That would have made a good album cover. That's a good one. The matrix below indicates that significant irregularities, they didn't, occurred across all 6 battleground states. No, they didn't. And across all 6 dimensions of election irregularities. No, they didn't. This finding, hi Lee, how are you? Good to see you, girl. This finding lends credence to the claim that the election may well have been stolen from President Donald J. Trump, which he knew at this time it was not stolen. He lost. But Smeagol, the author of this piece of shit, wanted to find his place in history. I guess they didn't let him in on the big criming, so he just got to write the report. Anyway, okay, so this is his matrix that supposedly indicates significant irregularities occurring across all 6 battleground states. Okay, well, let's take a look, shall we? Well, here's one, real specific. Outright voter fraud. Yes. Okay, some evidence. Yes, some evidence. Ballot mishandling. No, Arizona was fine. Wait a minute. I thought the whole point of Arizona and cyber ninjas was chain of custody. What happened? Why, this seems like a glaring omission. Or did the story change? Is that what it is? Did it change between December 2020 and April of 2021? Is that when it changed? Why did it change? because there wasn't any evidence? Okay. Anyway. So it looks like he's assuming everything. Okay, but here we go. Let's see. What's this one? Wait. Contestable process fouls. Okay, well, not specific, but a little. Equal protection clause violations. Again, not specific and probably a misuse of that term. Voting machine irregularities. Oh, this is our favorite. Dominion. He says everywhere, but just a little in Wisconsin. Because remember, Wisconsin, one of their biggies, and in fact, I'm going to get into him, Mr. Gableman. They didn't want evidence. I know, they didn't want evidence. You're right. Mind Truth. Was this the replacement for the DNI report that couldn't get produced in time? Was this going to be the backup to that? I don't know. I'm actually asking, honestly. I don't know the answer to that. All right. Whatever. Voting machine irregularities. Significant statistical anomalies. Oh, actually, you know what? This is my favorite. Oh, nope. That's not what I want. This is my favorite. I need to stop that. This is my favorite right here. Significant statistical anomalies, because this is a bunch of crap. What this is Doug Frank and Seth Keshel and a couple of others involved in Eastman's shit. Because you know what? Doug Frank was asked not to testify in John Eastman's disbarment hearing by John Eastman's counsel because they knew it was bullshit. And hopefully it kind of goes into that. I haven't really dug into this yet, but anyway, okay. From the findings of this report, it is possible to infer, which is always what you want to do when stopping the peaceful transfer of power. You want to just go on inference. That sounds like a great idea. What may well have been a coordinated strategy to effectively stack the election deck against the Trump-Pence ticket. Now, here's my question down here. If they never saw the machines or the ballots, how do they know it would have been a different outcome? Because we're not talking specific numbers now, are we? Because as you'll see, everything is an assumption and an extrapolation. And it's not evidence. The evidence that they claim to have is affidavits written by people of questionable virtue. And the affidavits themselves are not substantive in terms of actual fraud being witnessed. It is things like, I saw a truck pull in at 1 a.m. Okay, that's someone who doesn't know what the process is. That's not a fraud issue. That's a mind your business issue. All right. So this is, I mean, I just want this to kind of be on the record that you can say all of these pretty words, but you can't you have to get specific at some point. And trust me, in the Eastman trial, they got specific, and we're all going to benefit for it. Indeed, the observed patterns of election irregularities are so consistent across the 6 battleground states that they suggest a coordinated strategy to, if not steal the election outright, strategically game the election process in such a way as to stuff the ballot box and unfairly tilt the playing field in favor of the Biden-Harris ticket. Right? What? It suggests a coordinated strategy. Wait, I need to highlight that. It suggests a coordinated strategy. That's not a thing. There's no, I mean, want to see a RICO case? It's happening in Georgia. That's what RICO looks like. So these are the big, takeaways, the top line findings, if you will. Top line findings. The weight of the evidence and the patterns of irregularities are such that it is irresponsible for anyone, especially the mainstream media, to claim there is no evidence of fraud or irregularities. So if this is the top line of your top line findings, then you have a problem, because this isn't anything specific. And furthermore, mainstream media, however you want to claim it, never said there was no evidence. They always acknowledged the one or two sporadic instances of fraud. So that is also, I mean, this is pablum for the base, and I get it, but we're going to call it out. The ballots in question, because of the identified election irregularities, are more than sufficient to swing the outcome in favor of President Trump, should even a relatively small portion of these ballots be ruled legal. So again, I come back to my point. If they never saw the machines or the ballots, how do they know? Why is that the assumption? And by the way, my question in every case that I've seen around election integrity is, what's your remedy? Because if your remedy is to disenfranchise millions of voters out of hand, that's not a remedy. That's a constitutional crisis. And then I couldn't even, like, these are stupid. I don't even understand. In fact, this is where I stopped, because I just couldn't handle it anymore. So that's page 3. Well, I made it to the top of page 3. So there you go. All 6 battleground states exhibit most or all 6 dimensions of election irregularities. However, each state has a unique mix of issues that might be considered most important. To put this another way, all battleground states are characterized by the same or similar election irregularities, but, like Tolstoy's Unhappy Families, each battleground state is different in its own election irregularity way. Да, конечно. I don't know where Tolstoy comes into this, but okay, that's fine. I'm sure he's scratching his head too. This was theft by 1,000 cuts across 6 dimensions in 6 battleground states, rather than any one single silver bullet election irregularity. So again, okay, this isn't a point. In refusing to investigate a growing number of legitimate grievances, the anti-Trump media and censoring social media are complicit in shielding the American public from the truth. When I read this is where I stopped, and I went and Googled, give me all the stories about, yeah, he should have used Google. Yeah, that would have been the idiot, right? It would have actually worked a lot. In fact, yeah. Now it all makes sense. Thank you. Thank you. Lindsey Graham testified that if you hold Trump stole the election, he'd believe you. Oh, if you told Trump Martians stole the elections, he'd believe you. Sorry, I couldn't read for a minute there. Hey, Max. Sending you a big old hug today. Yeah, Tolstoy isn't real. Tolstoy didn't, he thought he was very real. So, just so you know. Please share the broadcast. Thank you. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, there were multiple stories in 2020 and beyond about investigations of certain claims and affidavits made. So this is on its face false. Even by this time, there had been media looking into, fuck you, Smeagol. Those journalists, pundits, and political leaders are now participating in what has become a Biden whitewash. What? Should acknowledge the 6 dimensions of election. So this is another point. Like, what does this mean? This is actually just, so this is basically a sub-bullet of the one above. Okay, so this goes to this. Okay, and now I get it. Jesus Christ. If this is not done before Inauguration Day, we risk putting into power an illegitimate and illegal president, lacking the support of a large segment of the American people. Fun fact, that's not true. So, yeah. Okay. The failure to aggressively, now it's a third bullet, which is a sub. Okay. The failure to aggressively and fully investigate the 6 dimensions. I can't sing today. My voice is wrecked. When the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars Then peace will rule the planet, and love will rule the stars. This is the dawning of the sixth dimension of election irregularities. The sixth dimension of irregularities. Yeah. Okay, that's all I can do. Assessed in this. Oh, I don't think I've read that unless I read some in college. I might have read some in college. That's cool, Tom. I think that's really cool. Hey, Tom, how are you? Welcome. Assessed in this report is a signal failure, not just of our anti-Trump mainstream media, say that 5 times fast, and censoring social media, but also of both our legislative and judicial branches. Well, here we go. Republican governors, Doug Ducey, looking at you, and you too, Brian Kemp. Republican governors in Arizona and Georgia, together with Republican majorities in both chambers of the state legislatures. Yeah, that's right. Of the 5 of the 6 battleground states, Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, have had both the power and the opportunity to investigate 6 dimensions of election irregularities presented in this report. I won't do that every time. I'll try not to, I should say. All I know about the art of war is for some weird reason, I associate it with Aikido, which is where you kind of melt into your opponent, which I really like that form of martial arts where you're like, I don't know. Anyway, so sorry. That's the only, I'm sure those 2 things are like polar opposite, but that's what I think of. So, all right, I'll keep going. Have had about yet wilting under intense political pressure and constitutional duty. These politicians have failed in their constitutional duties. Fun fact, they didn't. And responsibilities also didn't. To do so, and thereby failed both their states and this nation, as well as their party. Well, actually, I think what he means is reversed it. Thereby failed their party. Oh, yeah, and the states and the nation. But they didn't. Both states and courts and federal courts, including the Supreme Court, have failed the American people. Wow, man, going deep. In refusing to appropriately adjudicate the election irregularities that have come before them. Their failures pose a great risk to the American Republic. No, you pose a great risk to the American Republic, but when's he going to actually get, like, in the jail cell? I don't want to, like, oh, he has to appear. Oh, he's going to appeal. That's right. I forgot. But did the judge rule that he's free pending appeal? Did they make that formal ruling? Yeah, it is nice to refresh, Tom. It's so true. Yeah, I wonder if these, okay, wait. What is this? Oh, if these election irregularities are not fully investigated prior to Inauguration Day and thereby effectively allowed to stand, this nation runs the very real risk of never being able to have a fair presidential election again. No ruling? Okay. With the down ballot Senate races scheduled for January 5th in Georgia, an initial test case of this looming risk. Whatever. Introduction. Oh my God, I thought that was the introduction. Jesus Christ on a cracker. All right, here we go. At the stroke of midnight on Election Day, President Donald J. Trump appeared well on his way to winning a second term. He was already a lock to win both Florida and Ohio. And who is calling me? Oops, no. I can't speak with you right now. I'm very sorry. Let's see, where was I? And no Republican has ever won a presidential election without winning Ohio, while only 2 Democrats have won the presidency without winning Florida. So there's your first piece of evidence, people, because guess what? To them, this is evidence. So we're just going to highlight that. At the same time, the Trump-Pence ticket had substantial and seemingly insurmountable leads. Seemingly insurmountable. In Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. If these leads held, that's another key statement, These 4 key battleground states would propel President Trump to a decisive 294-44 victory in the Electoral College. Shortly after midnight, however, as a flood of mail-in and absentee ballots began entering the count, the Trump red tide of victory began turning Joe Biden blue. As these mail-in and absentee ballots were tabulated, the president's large leads in Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin simply vanished into thin Biden leads. That's what happens when you count. The numbers go higher. What kind of communist magic is this? At midnight on the evening of November 3rd, and as illustrated in Table 1, President Trump was ahead by more than 110,000 votes in Wisconsin and more than 290,000 votes in Michigan. In Georgia, his lead was a whopping 356,945, and he led Pennsylvania by more than 500,000 votes. But by December 7th, however, these wide Trump leads would turn into razor-thin Biden leads. 11,779 votes in Georgia, 20,682 in Wisconsin, 81,616 in Pennsylvania, 188 votes in Michigan. Elizabeth. Trump lead at midnight, all of these numbers, and then look, the lead, and I put it in quotation marks because it wasn't true. Because it wasn't true. Yeah, but it's really good acting practice for me. It's like a good cold read. There was an equally interesting story unfolding in Arizona and Nevada. While Joe Biden was ahead in these 2 additional battleground states on election night by just over 30,000 votes in Nevada and less than 150,000 votes in Arizona, internal Trump campaign polls predicted the president would lose these gaps once all the votes were counted. Of course, this never happened. In the wake of this astonishing reversal of Trump fortune, a national reversal of Trump fortune. That's poetic. Wait, I want to read this again. While Joe Biden was ahead just by over 30 minutes, internal predicted. Well, of course, that's because polls don't always happen. Don't present something as evidence. Including President himself, as charged that the election was stolen. They've backed up these damning charges with more than 50 lawsuits. Wait till you see these footnotes. Thousands of supporting affidavits and declarations and seemingly incriminating, but seemingly, there's that word again, seemingly, and first-hand against all manners of chicanery. All manner. Not just one manner of chicanery, all manner of chicanery here. All right. Wow. Critics, or as we like to call them, voters, on the left and within the Democrat Party have, on the other hand, dismissed these charges as the sour grapes of a whining loser. No, actually, it's a little bit more than that. The protestations of a deluded demagogue is a little more what I was thinking. Some of these critics have completely denied any fraud, misconduct, or malfeasance altogether. Others have acknowledged that while some election irregularities may have existed, they strenuously insist that these irregularities are not significant enough to overturn the election. There is a similar battle royale. Oh, I love that reference. I have a feeling he watches a lot of those. Okay. Raging between large anti-Trump segments of the so-called mainstream media and alternative conservative news outlets. Across the anti-Trump mainstream media diaspora, which includes most prominently print publications like the New York Times, the Washington Post, and cable networks like CNN and MSNBC, a loud chorus of voices has been demanding that President Trump concede the election. Chicane to the left, chicane to the all manners, all up, down, all around. Chicanery afoot. Shincanery afoot. Oh no, that doesn't make any sense. These same anti-Trump voices have been equally quick to denounce, or discredit anyone, especially anyone within their own circle, that dares to investigate what may well turn out to be the, all caps, because I'm screaming it, biggest political scandal in American history. Social media outlets like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube likewise have been actively and relentlessly censoring anyone who dares to call the results of the election into question, also known as lying. It's kind of funny. In contrast, alternative news outlets like the Angels, associated with the American conservative movement, have provided extensive, in-depth coverage of the many issues of fraud, misconduct, and other irregularities that are coming to light, from My Boo, Steve Bannon's War Room Pandemic, and John Solomon's Just the News and Not Really a Lot of News, and Raheem Kassam's National Pulse of My Dick, to News Meh, and One American News Network, who Americans hungry for facts and breaking developments have been able to find such critical information only by following this alternative coverage, which is pretty much all they see. So it's not quite that alternative for them. That the American public is not buying what the Democrats see. I think the American public bought it because they voted. So this is not a report worthy statement. What the Democrat Party and the anti-Trump media and social media are selling is evident in public opinion polls. For example, according to a recent Rasmussen poll, that well-known pollster, Rasmussen, who's always real straight down the middle, 62% of Republicans say it's very likely the Democrats. Well, then that means 38 didn't. Okay. If, in fact, compelling evidence comes to light, spoiler alert, it never does. It's 4 years now? Almost 3.5? No, it's not. After a fait accompli Biden inauguration, we as a country run the very real risk that the very center of our great union will not hold. To put this in, this is his, what is that? Paul, I was going to say Paul Runyon, but no, it's not what I meant. Paul Bunyan? Paul Revere. Like, he's got the tri-corner hat on and all kinds of shit. Okay, so he thinks, but he's actually fighting for the other side. If much of the mainstream media won't even fully investigate, everybody's investigated. Blah, blah. Is that the purpose? Oh, here we go. All right. This should be great. Pecos bill. Yeah, it's Pecos bill. Oh, yeehaw. All right. Section fucking 2. 6 dimensions of election irregularities about 6. Okay, we're going to move through this a little more quickly than word by word. All right, the report assesses the fairness and integrity of the 2020 presidential election across 6 key battleground states where Democrat candidate Joe Biden holds a slim lead. We're always going to remind you that it's not a big lead, which is why they call them swing states, by the way. That's usually where the leads are going to be a little bit tighter, too. I don't know. It just goes to reason for me. And the results continue to be hotly contested. Well, no. As documented in the extensive endnotes, the evidence used to conduct this assessment, well, we might have to jump to the endnotes, includes more than 50 lawsuits and judicial rulings. Wait a minute. This is important. This is the evidence. That's the evidence. Evidence is evidence. Sorry, I know I'm a little old school. Whoops. I don't know how to spell either. Right. There we go. Okay. Here we go. Hold on. From a review and analysis. Oh, who analyzed it? Who analyzed it? Who did it? 6 major dimensions. Dimensions of election irregularities have been identified and assessed on a state-by-state basis across 6 key battleground states. Arizona, blah, blah, blah. You know who they are. Come on now. Step up. These 6 dimensions include outright vote. Okay, we went over that. Yep, statistical anomalies. I really want to jump right to that. Okay, so the matrix in Table 2 provides an overview of the presence or absence of each of the six. Oh, but didn't we already do this in table 1? I'm confused. Oh, I see. We added some rows. We added the Biden quote, air quotes, victory margin. So these are the victory margins. Okay. But according to his evidence, according to his widespread evidence, there's possibly, oops, oh, you're not going to let me highlight the table. Okay, that's fine. There's possibly this many. Oh, unknown. Yeah, we don't even know what happened in Michigan. Jesus Christ. Yeah, had been analyzed. It was analyzed. It was counted, and in some cases, recounted. All right. 2 key points stand out immediately from the matrix. First, significant irregularities appear to be ubiquitous across the 6 battleground states. Well, only because you put all the check marks in there. Only Arizona is free of any apparent widespread ballot mishandling, which is hilarious because, again, you ran a whole audit based on the fact that ballots were mishandled. So, I'm confused. Oh, now I get it. See, that was too highbrow for me, so I didn't get it right away. Thank you for explaining it. Second, if one compares the alleged Biden victory margin in column 7, it's possible. It should be clear. It should be, but it's not. That the number of possible illegal ballots dwarfs, and I had to underline that, the alleged Biden victory margin. And oh my God, there's a lot. This paragraph's doing a lot. This paragraph's holding a lot on its little tiny paragraph shoulders. For example, the alleged, I'm not going to keep highlighting that. It's ridiculous. Look at it, it's all over the place. I should count the number of allegeds in here. All right. Victory margin in Nevada is 33,596. Yet the number of ballots in question. Okay, so this is just describing that your numbers. Okay. Oh my God. This is not because it is likely to be a true exception, but simply because there remains sufficient estimates. What? Oh, I see. So he's saying, we'll find it. We'll find those illegal votes. Don't worry. Clearly, or not, based on this matrix, the American people deserve a definitive answer. Clearly, nothing. As to whether we already answered it, it wasn't. Absent a thorough investigation prior to Inauguration Day, blah, blah, blah. The next, oh, here we go, walking down the street. I was also looking last night for the Seligman. He's the guy from Stanford who testified for the state in the disbarment hearing for Eastman. And I was trying to find his testimony transcript around debunking actual numbers, but I didn't find that part. I did find him debunking the part about what the power a vice president has. So that I have that also teed up. I feel like I'm just going to do some stuff today, and then I don't know what's going to happen after that. All right. So outright voter fraud. It ranges from large-scale manufacturing. Oh, where? Where is that? Is that the bamboo threads in the paper? Is that what it is? Bribery. Well, who bribed who? What happened? And dead voters. Nope. Nope. No, they weren't. Cast by an element such as felons and illegal aliens. Nope. It didn't happen. Didn't happen. Ballots counted multiple times. Nope. Didn't happen. Nope. Didn't happen. Wow. All of these have been debunked. Table 3 provides an overview across the 6 battleground states of the various types of outright voter fraud that have been alleged to be present. My God. Bribery in Arizona. Oh, shit. And Nevada. Fake ballot manufacturing and destruction of legally cast real ballots. What the? Indefinitely confined voter abuses. What is that? What is that? Ineligible voters and voters who voted in multiple states. Dead voters and hey, there's our ghost bus. Ghost voters. I don't know what that means, really. Counting ballots multiple times. Illegal out-of-state voters. But wouldn't that be... Oh, no, I guess that's different from people who voted in multiple states. Okay. All right, we got it. From the figure, we see that different types of fraud may be present in all 6 states. Let's more precisely define each of these different types of fraud using examples that are designed to be illustrative rather than exhaustive. Well, I'm exhausted already. Bribery. In a voter fraud context, bribery refers to the corrupt solicitation, acceptance, or transfer of value in exchange for official action, such as voter registration or voting for a preferred candidate. Oh, Jesus Christ. At least in Nevada, I have a feeling I know where this is going. Zuck bucks? Is that it? Maybe. At least in Nevada, there is a slam dunk case that such bribery occurred. What is so stunning about the Nevada case is the brazen disregard for our federal library. Oh, well, this explains pretty much why I'm where I'm at. Brazen disregard for our federal bribery laws in the Silver State in an effort. Hi, Muskie. How are you? Good to see you. In an effort orchestrated by the Biden campaign, Native Americans appear to have traded their votes not for pieces of silver, but rather for Visa gift cards, jewelry, and other swag. According to the Epoch Times, which is a really piece of shit, foreign-run CCP fucking funded rag, such vote buying schemes also may have occurred in 8 other states, including Arizona and Wisconsin. Well, you know what? We're going to do some real-time debunking. Okay, so let me just look and see what happened, because here's what I think might have happened. There was probably a program to get voter registration across states funded by foundations like the Chan Zuckerberg Institute, like the Open Society Foundation. I'm confident that they have civic engagement programs. In fact, I know for a fact that both of those do, where they go into communities and fund local organizations getting to get people registered to vote. That is a worthy outreach to all communities. So you can think what you want about Chan Zuckerberg. I think Zuckerberg's an asshole, fucking, and partly responsible for how fucked up our country is. I like his wife, but their foundation is not them. Their foundation is doing really exhaustive good work. I've worked with that foundation before on a grant proposal, so I know. They're just normal people working in those fucking foundations. And let me tell you, they don't get paid enough. And certainly not to put up with the bullshit coming from the right. If you want to revise nonprofits, I have plenty of ideas about how you can do that and audit them better. Plenty. And it's not this. It's not stopping voter engagement programs. That's fucking ridiculous. And we need to call that out as something that is not. So I'm not gonna bother right now. I'm gonna go through this and try and annotate it with some real stuff. Fake ballot manufacturing and destruction of legally cast real ballots. I'm sorry I didn't do it before, but it's just been a really hard week. So I'm not gonna. I will apologize, but I can't make excuses for myself. I just doing the best I can. Fake ballot manufacturing involves the fraudulent production of ballots on behalf of a candidate. And one of the most disturbing fake ballot manufacturing, this one was debunked, involves a truck driver. He actually then recanted this story. This truck driver recanted this story. So I'm going to put a big, I wish there was like a big like thing through it. I'll do this. How about this? I'll do no. So we'll make sure it's all no. Oops. No. Likewise, in Pennsylvania, there's both a declaration and a photo that suggests a poll worker used an unsecured USB flash drive to dump an unusually large cache of votes onto vote tabulation machines. The resultant tabulations did not correlate with the mail-in ballots scanned into the machines. I know this was debunked too. I'll find that. This is going to be fun. I'm sorry I didn't like this part. Yep. Yeah, we're not entirely vapor. This is like perfectly well put. Oh, Musky, good to still have all my teeth. Yay! I'm glad. Let's see. Okay. Arguably, if that weren't enough, the most flagrant example of possible fake ballot manufacture. See. Wait, we'll do. Oops. Wait. That's all we're going to put for that. In one version, okay, we're not even going to read it because it's just so embarrassing. Well, anyway, then they proceeded to tabulate a quantity of fake. How did you know? How did you know? Estimated. How did you know, though, Smeagol? How did you know? Despite what appears to be damning evidence of a possible crime, a spate of stories appeared within the anti-Trump media diaspora, dismissing any concerns. Yeah, you know what else happened? Do you know what else happened? The fucking governor, lieutenant governor, and that other guy, Gabriel Sterling, looked at the fucking video and confirmed that you had a chopped up version that was misleading. So shut up. Yeah, or so the spin goes. Let me tell you about the spin, bitch. Oh, wait. Okay. All right. Now I got so angry it made me highlight the wrong thing. Now I'm going to wonder why I highlighted that. Anyway, of course, this is precisely the kind of incident that should be fully investigated by both Georgia's Attorney General as well as by the Federal Department of Justice. Yet it remains unclear as to whether such investigations are underway. Meanwhile, the videotape itself, actually it was a video, it was underway. It was done. Meanwhile, oh, hey, Paul, how are you? Welcome. Well, it's low, but that's okay. Lola's fine. Let's see. There is an allegation from a court case filed in the United States District Court for the District of Arizona. Plaintiffs claim that over 75,000 absentee ballots were reported as unreturned when they were actually returned. Huh. Okay, so I watched, I don't know. I don't know if I watched I watched all the Carrie Lake stuff. So I think I might have missed this one. Or maybe district court doesn't show in Arizona. I don't know. I'm going to have to check and see. Because I don't think I've ever seen a Georgia level, like, or sorry, Arizona, like, hearing that wasn't just like a stupid election integrity hearing. You know what I'm saying? Like, not just like a serious one. So I'll have to look into that one too. But that's why you come. All right. Indefinitely confined voters are those in Georgia. Okay. Are they going to talk about Wisconsin? Because I can't wait. The Racine sheriff, give it to me. I have that on tape. Indefinitely confined are voters unable to vote in person, blah, 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 blah. There are two types of possible abuses. The first kind of abuse involves exploiting the elderly or the infirm by effectively hijacking their identities and their votes. For example, The family of an elderly man in a nursing home facility discovered that a mail-in ballot had been requested and submitted under his voter registration identity, yet it was done without his consent. Oh, it's such an easy mistake to make, Paul. No worries. In a similar situation in Pennsylvania, two parents and their daughter who has Down syndrome went to vote in person and discovered that a mail-in ballot had both been requested and submitted for the daughter without her consent. Well, I would want to know more about those two cases. So is that all you got for the first type of abuse, Peter? Because I'm disappointed. The second kind, oh, this is my favorite. Second kind of indefinitely confined voter abuse is far more consequential, at least in the state of Wisconsin. The key allegation here in several court filings is that bad faith voters registering as indefinitely confined intentionally broke Wisconsin election law to circumvent election integrity photo identification requirements. In a nutshell, my nutshell, they were able to vote without showing a voter identification photo and therefore underwent a far less rigorous ID check than would have otherwise been conducted. But in fact, there had been verifications. So this actually is not true. And what he's describing in such very dastardly terms is requesting a mail-in ballot during COVID. This abuse happened, according to one press account, after clerks in Dane and Milwaukee counties offered illegal advice that encouraged individuals. Well, it just sounds so terrible. Legal advice that encouraged individuals to use indefinite confinement as a way to ignore the state's photo ID requirement. The Trump side has called this correctly an open invitation to fraud. You know, also known as just mail-in ballots that have been fine in some states that do all kinds of mail-in. All right. Well, anyway, blah, blah, blah. Just because you would cheat, Peter, doesn't mean everyone would. Yes, dear. Oh my God. Here we go. Pictures about, this is evidence. Now we're getting down to the meat of the matter, my darlings. Now, just wait till you read this section. Yes. Pictures abound of Wisconsin voters who registered as indefinitely confined, but were seen also attending weddings, riding their bikes, going on vacation, and otherwise be anything but confined. My God. Your book review. What is a book review? Wait, Paul, did I miss a book review? I'm so sorry. Hi, Val. Hi, welcome. Oh, no problem, Max. Max, I don't know. Listen to it at 2 times speed. It might be more entertaining. Here's what is most important. Wait, did I do something wrong here? Oh, no. Here's what's most important about this particular type of election fraud. In the wake of expanded definition of indefinitely confined voters, a definition ruled legally incorrect by the Wisconsin Supreme Court. And then I think, I should have done more homework. I'm sorry. It's the depression. It's not because I don't care. It's because the depression stops me from getting shit done. Okay. A definition ruled in. Okay. So I think this was reversed, but I don't know that. So I'll highlight it for myself. The number of surged from 70,000 in 2019 to over 200,000 in 2020. You know, the year between when we didn't have a pandemic and the year that we did. Okay? Didn't have a pandemic. Oops. Did have a pandemic. Yeah. So this 130,000, I don't know what, this statement makes zero sense to me. Okay, that makes, are you trying to prove that somehow that's the population of votes? That's, oh wait, let's go back and check. Is that the population of votes that he puts for that? Because now I'm curious if it ties back to that table. What was it? Wait, it doesn't. Oh, no. Oh, it doesn't. So there's no 130,000 in here anywhere. But what, where? Okay. Well, okay. Maybe it's included in something. All right. Well, whatever. Do, 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 do. Hi, Pepper. How are you? Oh, yeah, Tom. Sorry. Too many Toms. Too many Toms. Too many Poms. Okay, wait, where was I? All right, let's go back. Indefinitely confined. All right, here we go. Ineligible voters and voters who voted in multiple states. Ineligible voters include felons, underage citizens, non-registered voters, illegal aliens, illegal out-of-state voters, and voters illegally using a post office box as an address. Damn it. Also known as, sometimes, apartment buildings. Excuse me just a moment. I have to take care of the dog. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Little doggy lunchtime needed. Save my little kid. Hey, Val, how sweet. Yeah, smash that like. And if you wouldn't mind sharing this on Twitter, that would be lovely. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Bullshit. We're talking about people of transportation, also known as port. Yes. Okay. Listen, we need mail-in voting. Mail-in voting is great. Mail-in voting works. This is all I'm so sorry that I didn't get this done because it would have been so much nicer to just like say, here's this and there's that. Here's this, then there's that. But I'll Muskie, also think of the elderly for mail-in voting. Since I'm in Florida, I check my registration. I know you do. You have to check your registration. Please check your registration at vote.org. It'll give you instructions on how to check your registration if you don't know. It's a great one-stop. Vote.org. Please. A lot of states do clean their voter rolls, so it's really good to check. Actually, I just got my ballot for the primary here in California, and I'm going to look through it just to see if it makes sense to do a ballot literacy, like, let's look at a ballot together kind of thing. And I know there's like, we'll figure out the rules around it. But anyway, so sorry, thinking about that. Hey, Paul, how are you? Paul, how you doing? Good to see you. Summer, hey, sweetheart, how are you? Good to see you, my love. Yeah, oh, good reminder. I need to take some smokes here, man. What the fuck's wrong with me? Oh, thanks, Val. Val, Stories of Your Life and Others by Ted Chiang was a book that I read. May interest you. Oh, interesting. Oh, thanks, Val. The lines are long at the polls. I know. It's just a lot. It's a lot. And some people work multiple jobs. You know what I mean? Like, it's just. And figuring out your ballot, it took me like a few days to figure out the LA ballot in 2022, I guess. Or because it was so complicated. There was so many judges I had to look into. I mean, it was really insane. It was very insane. So I don't know. There's a lot of reasons why people need time with their ballot and time to understand. And I understand they, whatever. Okay. Ineligible, blah, blah, blah. In a court filing, lead counsel Ray Smith provided a list of more than 70,000 allegedly ineligible voters casting ballots in Georgia. These were all debunked. 20,000 appear to have filed or had other indications of moving out of state. I know, all mail-in. Yeah, Washington's been on that for a while, right, Paul? I feel like. Hi, Rip. Good. How are you? A notice of changes or other indication. Yet these clearly, they weren't. You know what? Spoiler alert. It turns out they weren't. Turns out they were perfectly eligible. I love it. I love it. Exactly. And I will go. I dropped mine off in a Dropbox that last election. I sure did. I muled my own ballot right into that fucking Dropbox. Come on, Dinesh. Come at me, bro. Be careful about middle. Oh, vote.gov. Sorry. Vote.gov. Yeah. Anyway, I've checked out all the sites I give, Rip, so don't worry about it. Okay. Thank you. As additional data points regarding ineligible out-of-state voters, there are these. Between 80 and 100 self-proclaimed. What? Okay, this is just crap. Self-proclaimed. I don't even know what this means. I mean, I know what it means. But it's just more racism from Peter Navarro. As for those voters who vote in multiple states, one lawsuit claims that roughly 15,000 mail-in or absentee ballots were received in Nevada from voters who were known to have voted in other states. It's useful to note here that in Nevada, poll workers allegedly were not consistent in their procedures. Oh my gosh. And when checking voters about whether they accepted California or Nevada voter identification as proof of eligibility of registering to vote. This is so dumb. Dead voters and ghost voters. According to widespread evidence, there actually isn't. So we're going to debunk that too, because we have the numbers. There was a surprising number of ballots cast across several key ballots. Surprising. Several. Sparking one wag to quip. Why? Wait, what? What did you say? Sorry to ask, but what's the, sorry. Okay. This is the, that's a great question, Val. Please don't ever apologize. This report is something I've intended to read for a long time, but I hadn't. It's Peter Navarro's Green Bay Sweep, or The Immaculate Deception, which is his report that President Dump Shit referenced when he sent his 12/19/2020 tweet saying, "Will be wild. I just got a report from Smeagol that the ring to rule them all is being stolen by evil Joe Biden." All right, thanks. Thank you, Rip. I'll see you later. Yeah. So anyway, one wag to quip in a reference to okay. Well, that's nice and professional to put in a fucking report. So this is nothing. So surprising number, but we don't know what the number is. Well, I mean, I'm sure he's going to make up a number. Rip. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. You're going to get off. I got you. Okay. Blur. Here we go. In Pennsylvania, for example, statistical analysis conducted by the Trump campaign matching voter rolls to public obituaries. A statistical analysis. This isn't true, because here's what happened. They had some problems with the dates. I remember this one too. Oh my God. It'll be fun. Okay. That's what I'll do the rest of today. I'll eat bonbons and do a crosswalk between this report and the actual data. In Michigan, according to one firsthand account offered in a declaration, why? I don't know. Who cares? I don't know. Talk about meaningless. Computer operators at a polling location in Detroit were manually adding the names and addresses of thousands of ballots to vote tabulation systems with voters who had birth dates in 1900. Oh, I've got to figure that one out. In Nevada, a widower, one person since 2017, when his wife died, saw that his deceased wife, who was incredibly civically minded, had successfully cast a mail-in ballot on November 2nd, 2020, 3.5 years after her death. I think this was a mistaken identity because they didn't match that's what it was. They didn't match all the fields when they did the match between voter rolls and obituaries. They just took literally first name, last name, and city or something. You know what I mean? It was literally that fucking pathetic. That's why I can't wait for the Eastman transcript to come out, because it lays this out in particular detail that I think will be really helpful. Or I don't know. I guess I might be the only person that's weirdly interested in why these guys think they could get away with this. It may be useful to note here that dead voters played a critical role in stealing the election from Richard Nixon. Whoa. Wow. We're going all the way back to Daley. It's a Chicago night. Chicago died. I guess that's what it is. All right, let's see. Oh, I gotta make that phone call too. Okay. Counting ballots. Oh, wait, here we go. On a ghost vote. Okay, here we go. What is this? A ghost voter front. A ghost voter is a voter who requests and submits a ballot under the name of a voter who no longer resides at the address where that voter was registered. In Georgia, for example, it is alleged that over 20,000 absentee or early voters, almost twice the Biden victory margin, cast their ballots after having moved out of state. In Nevada, a poll worker reported that there were as many 50 ballots. Okay, so these were also debunked. This is stupid. This was debunked. And it was because of people moving. And it really wasn't. So we'll get, you know what? We're going to bust the ghosts on this one. Counting ballots multiple times. Counting ballots multiple times occurs most egregiously when batches of ballots are repeatedly rescanned. Well, that's what happens when you recount. Counting ballots when you rescan and retabulate them. This is mind-blowing here. This is a mind-blowing revelation right here. Counting ballots multiple times occurs when ballots are repeatedly rescanned and retabulated. That's right. That's right. Oh, but it can also happen when the same person votes. So how'd that happen? Oh, really? Where's that? Because I haven't heard about that one. You know where that probably appears? In one of those stupid affidavits that don't mean anything. Here we go. These are affidavits. You can tell we're observed. Running ballots through tablet. Where? In Wayne County. While it's rescanning. Okay, I know this one was Wayne County was definitely debunked. In Pennsylvania, a poll worker observed a woman. No, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, thank you, Paul. That's a great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is it. All this reflects to me is Navarro and Company's contempt for his country and his country persons. Yeah, it really is. It is really. That's why I have such a hard time with it, is because it's so I don't mind actually advocating for your guy or gal, right? Like, I don't mind if you feel strongly about a candidate. I, I'll say it again. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm fine with people showing up on January 6th, you know? I just mean, like, why? At what point do you say, okay, you know what? I've seen the data behind this, and now I know it's not something. I mean, that's what's, again, oh my God, the Eastman stuff. Like, he had to sit there and listen as all of his big, moves, money moves, were backed on anything but a house of cards. And every time he was like ripped away, that another card was pulled away. Observed a woman for a possible marriage proposal. Yeah, exactly. That's really, why are you so weird about her appearance? I change sometimes in the day. Perter, can you explain nationwide dancing in the streets akin to VE Day celebration on November 7th when Biden's PA win was announced? Right. Can you do that? Perter? Little Perter? Little Perter. Every time I hear one of them say our country, it makes me think they're in their own reality. Yes, with their own veils. A good one, Tom. Put in place by themselves or others. Yeah, it really is kind of like I don't know. I don't mind. I think if you went to hear him speak on January 6th and you just stood there in the ellipse and whatever, or even if you stood far away from the, barricades at the Capitol and you were like, yeah, well, we lost, but we're mad about it. That's go ahead, get out, do it, do it, do it. Right? So don't come to me and try and sell me a bill of goods that even right? And lucky your electorate does not read closely, and they most certainly don't bother with math. So, bingo. Gotta hand it to you. All right, here we go. Another poll worker. So this is our big example of a person voting twice in the same day is this. One, another poll worker observed people in voting lines in one corner of a polling location and then coming to another poll. Do you think maybe they were asked to go to the right section? Could it have been? Could it have been? Could it have been that they were asked to go to? So this is nothing. So it's just like it evaporates. It evaporates in your fingers. Like that. All right. She voted twice on voting at voting machines. Why? Was it broken? Did she have to, was there, like why? There is no such thing as too much information as long as you have trained to discern it. So true. So true. Ballot mishandling. Ballot mishandling represents a second major dimension of alleged election irregularities in the 2020 election. It's a multifaceted problem. Okay, here we go. This is ballot mishandling. All right, here we go. No voter ID check. So it happened in Wisconsin, widespread. And a little bit in Nevada and a little bit in Michigan. Oh, okay. Well, that's funny because you guys were saying it was happening in Georgia. So I'm a little confused. I'm real confused. Low calorie Navarro, it evaporates before it hits your mouth. Signature match check abuses. So that is the checking. So they complained in Georgia about a, what do they call that? A concession? What was it? I want to go through that because no voter ID check. We'll go through them. Critical, However, there's at least, for example, in Michigan, the chairperson of a polling location permitted an individual to vote without presenting voter identification and another with only a photocopy of a driver's license. Well, okay. Lock them up. In Nevada, poll workers were instructed to advise people who wanted to register a vote and did not have proper IDs to do the following. This is reasonable. These unregistered voters could go outside. Okay, so what is that? What's the problem? This isn't illegal. This isn't illegal. This isn't a problem. It's equally critical that ballot counters legally verify absentee and mail-in ballots by checking if the signatures on the outer envelopes match the voters' registration records. Note that a variety of signature matching abuses represent a major issue in Nevada. Blah, blah, blah. In Georgia, the consent decree. Sorry, thank you. Not concession, although maybe it was. With the Democrat Party that weakened signature matching to just one verification instead of two. This actually turns out to be false. That was proven in that Georgia hearing, actually, that we listened to. So there you go. This illegal weakening of signature match test has called into question. No, it hasn't. No, this is wrong. This is actually wrong. It wasn't illegal. This was perfectly legal. Everything was legal. Georgia is not the only state. Nevada requires that persons, not machines, review all signatures. Yet the Clark County used a defective. How'd you know it was defective? How'd you know? Agilis to conduct such checks, as will be the development. Agilis has an unacceptably, not an unacceptable low accuracy rate, but an unacceptably low. Signature match abuse is also surfaced in Wisconsin, where mandatory blah, 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 blah. Wow, it's funny. They didn't talk about the racing sheriff in Wisconsin, which is kind of weird. Naked ballots. Naked ballots. It's my new band name. Naked ballots. A naked ballot is a mail-in or absentee ballot lacking an outer envelope with the voter's signature. It's illegal to accept the naked ballot as the outer envelope provides the only way to verify a voter's identity. It appears to be particularly acute in Pennsylvania as okay. Well, guidance. You know what the thing is that I think those were also ones that were dropped off. And probably human error in losing some of the envelopes. Guess what? Humans are incredibly infallible. This issuance of guidance in violation of state law. No, it probably was an adaptation. No, it doesn't. Oh, are you kidding? Are you kidding? All right, let's keep going. I might have to end this early because I think I might need to take over puppy duty. So we'll continue a little bit. Actually, let me just check in with my daughter and see if I need to take over puppy duty right now. Be right back. Yeah, guys, I need to take care of the dog. My daughter's got a big meeting and I don't want her to have to, he's needy right now. So yeah, to fabulate is human. Oh boy, I am a falabulator. That's for sure. Falabulator. Yeah, but I understood what you meant, Max. It's all right. Yeah, puppy. He needs something. He needs something, and I know it's more than just, yeah. Yeah, it makes sense to all the Peros owners, doesn't it? That's right. You guys got it. Okay, well, you know what it does? It gives me a chance to go in and do a little more work on this so that maybe it's a little more like crosswalked between where some of those data links are and some of this nonsense. So I will definitely come back to this, but it is for another day. I will be doing a lounge tonight. We'll see how that goes, but yeah, I'm committed to doing that. Add music. Yes. Good idea. It's really good idea. To celebrate with appropriate lube is divine. So true. Later. It sounds like a song. I like that. All right. Well, thanks again. Sorry for the shortness, but I definitely will clean this up and then come back to you at another moment. So thanks again, and I will see you soon.